Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to make this relatively quick, hopefully, get to the bits that everyone needs to know. But I'll just gloss through all of the points of the HYROX just so we're all good to go for London throughout the week. So, nice and quickly, we all know it's at the XL now, so I can gloss through that nice and easy. That is the postcode and address, just in case you need it. What to expect? Arrive nice and early. It will be quite busy. There's lots of people going. Don't stress about that. Obviously, if you get held up, it's fine, but give yourself plenty of time to get there. There'll be plenty of sky blue tops around, so keep an eye out for the team. I'll make it very clear where we are all day, so you'll be able to find at least me, if not more of the team as well. Um, we'll point you to the warm up area. We can give you the warm up or different warm ups to do if you're not sure on what to do. So you'll be nice and ready for the race. So don't panic about that. Just make sure you bring plenty of food, even if you're not going to eat it, just so you've got it as an option. It's always nice to have. All the running stations will be clearly labelled. Don't worry about that. We'll come to that very, very shortly. But everything will be labelled very easily, and there's plenty of hydration stations and all of that as well. The race day map, it's out. So ignore that bit. It's out. I'll go through it. I'll get up there nice and early on Thursday. That is still true. And I'll try and get as much footage from inside the building as I can before you all get there again so that you can just relax when you turn up. So you don't need a reminder of what's coming up, but I'll leave it up very briefly. That is what we've got to tackle this week. Here we go. The map itself. So on this big version here, you've got the big blue section, which is our rock zone, which I'll come to in a little bit. We've all been going on about that loads. Don't stress about that. The main thing about the run loop, regardless of how long we think it is or isn't, is that you run in an anti-clockwise pattern all the way around, and there's no break, so it just goes straight into the in banner, which is perfect. So don't worry about any of that. We'll come to that in a second. For a spectator's point of view and for a registration point of view for athletes, everyone comes in the same way. So if I just flick back one page, this little red area is the entrance to the building. Spectators and anybody, according to the email, anybody who's competing but is there too early to check in may have to pick up a spectator's wristband from here. But we'll see how that goes on the day. Again, I'll keep you posted with that. But everybody will come in here. And then this crosshatch section here is a bridge over the running track. So everyone will come in here. And then all the black areas are areas where spectators and non-competing athletes can walk around to watch and chill out and sign up and stuff like that. So this zoomed in section here is just over that bridge that I was mentioning. So athletes registration will be just over the bridge. You won't miss it. Don't panic. It will be there. And bag drop is just behind it. So you won't miss that either. That's always really well organised. Again, there might be some cues for that. So to give yourself plenty of time. If you know you're on at a time when other people are watching and stuff, then obviously you can ask people to look after your bags. It's not a problem. You'll definitely get sent through the store. So somewhere along here, there'll be some sort of organised barriers that will send you through the store to try and buy stuff. That always happens. And then there's just going to be loads of other bits and bobs around. There's a cafe, food section. The recovery bit over here will be near the exit to the finish zone. And then more for the athletes, the warm-up area, the athletes only section is here. So when you get ready to start your warm-up, you'll go over to this section. They'll check your wristband, they'll check your number, and they'll let you go in here. And there'll be loads of equipment in here, loads of stuff, everything you could possibly need for a warm-up. And then when it gets to your starting window, they'll give you a call about 7-8 minutes beforehand, and you can start filling up the tunnel whenever you're ready. There's no real cut-off, but obviously you're going to want to be in there a minute or two before at least. So once you go in there, they're always pretty good. They've got some music playing. There's usually someone hyping you up, just explaining the final rules or not rules, final few bits to you, and that is it. So yeah, that is kind of a spectator's point of view. So everything, even on the next slide, everything that's black in terms of background is available for spectators to go into. And when you're not competing as an athlete, you can still walk around all these areas. You can go in these grandstands, which are pretty cool, right by the walls. And yeah, and I'm now going to slide over to the really infamous point of conversation for this evening. So this is where all the action is going to happen. So again, all these black zones, spectators can walk all the way around. There's a couple of grandstands even down by the burpees and the sled pushes. So really, really good from from a first point of view for the spectators, because spectators can literally watch every station. They can be right up watching right above the barriers. You can be watching the run and then come round to wherever the stations are. In terms of the rock zone that everyone's talking about, you'll obviously start out the tunnel on this left-hand side and you'll run round. So imagine we've done our first loop and we're coming down here. There is no counting laps or anything. That is the beauty of this race. You come in the inside and you'll go straight into the little ski erg banner, which is here. And you go to your ski erg machine, you'll do your ski erg, you come out the end, and then you just run all the way down and go out for your second run where you do one whole loop and you'll come back in the same end. And the second time you go into your sled push. Again, you go through the banner. They'll tell you which sled to get onto. You do your sled pushes. It'll be 4 lengths more than likely. And then you go out the end, come back up into the rock zone again, and you run straight out the top. It is possibly the easiest layout we've ever seen. All these little water bits here are hydration stations. So some of them may be electrolytes, some of them may be Red Bull, some of them may be doubled up, and most of them will be water. They're very clear which are which, so don't worry, you won't drink something you don't want to drink. And again, once you're done, you run out the out, come all the way around, come in the in, and you go into your sled pull. So you're literally just going along one by one. They're in order, so there is no need to stress, to worry about where you're going. You just, whichever exercise you did last time, run past that entrance, and then the next entrance you see, run into it. There will even, I'm sure there will be a screen along here somewhere which will tell you which one's next in case you've somehow forgot. But don't panic, we'll all be watching anyway, so it's all good. But yeah, so don't stress about this rock zone. The run will be what it will be. As far as I'm aware, they make it the same every single time. So the rock zone changes length and the run laps change length so that every race is exactly the same distance. However, as we can't verify that, it is what it is. You're going to run the whole loop. You're going to run as far as that loop is because there's no shortcuts, and you're going to run straight into the next exercise. Simple as that. So it is a long rock zone in terms of layout, but that's because everything's bang, 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 bang. We knew that was going to be the case. It's going to be a really fun race. There is nothing to worry about there. So in terms of rock zone, the word has been floated around all night. That's all you've got to worry about there. For the relay teams, there's a little section here just behind, it's in the start-up area, in the warm-up area, just behind the start tunnel. And that is the relay zone. So somewhere along here, we'll find out in the briefing. I don't know this for sure yet. They'll do the briefing on Sunday night. But somewhere around here, I would presume there'll be a little gate and you'll come in, tag your relay partner, and they'll go off through the start tunnel, I would have thought, or just before the start tunnel so you don't get your timing chips all messed up. But again, that will be all told to us very clear, very black and white on the day. Nothing to worry about there. The only other little thing on this section that isn't as straightforward as some of them is the wall balls. This last little section here, they bring you down the wall balls section and just take you slightly further away than the other rock zones, than the other exercises from the rock zone. That presumably because they've got a nice grandstand on either side and the podium there. So that's just to keep you a bit separated. This little hatch section is another crossing area for spectators. Nothing to worry about as an athlete. And if you wanted to go and watch around there for the grandstand as spectators, then you'll be able to nip across here as and when athletes aren't running through it. So nothing to stress about there. So essentially, if I go back 2 slides, what we've just looked at is the whole map. We're in a massive, massive building. The entrance is here. Everything will be in front of you then. You can see it all. The toilets around the side, so you can get to them nice and easy. And then once you cross the bridge, everything internally is just great for spectators, and you can just chill out for the athletes as well. So it's all very, very straightforward. And like I said, here's that running loop again, just one more time. You just run around the outside once. There is nothing to worry about. You can't miss the rock zone. You can't miss the in sign. I mean, you go on the next bit. I'll just run through the exercises. So if that's all you wanted to see, jump off now. I will just run through the exercises nice and quick. So running, that start area that we talked about, the Red Bull start area, looks just like this. So at the back, there's like a little curtain. They let you in, you come into it, and you're looking forward. This is the exit. That is actually the Dublin one, which is very tight. It's not going to be anywhere near as tight as that in London because it's a nice big venue. And also, there'll be no one coming past you. Actually, that's a lie. There will be people coming past you still because they'll be in the other laps. But still, there won't be loads and loads of people coming past you because it's not like there's loads and loads of waves on the track. It will just be the people from the previous wave. So it'll be nice and easy in there. As you come out, Obviously, don't go too fast, but that's how it looks. Nice and easy. Yeah, apologies if that made that confusing. It won't be too tight, basically. Nothing to worry about. It will be kind of music in there, bit dramatic. They'll build you up, and then they'll play. I always call it the John Cena music. I'm not actually sure what it's called, but the WWE walkout song for John Cena. Look that up if you're not sure what it's going to be. They play that every 10 minutes because every time you come out here, they play that song. The rock zone, like we talked about, these are all the signs you'll look at. This big in sign will just be across the whole track because it's just there. There is just the rock zone, simple as that. Then each station has got a nice big banner like this with the number and the name of the station on it. So ski erg number 1, sled push number 2, number 3 will be your sled pull, number 4 burpees, number 5 row, number 6 farmer's carry, number 7 sandbag lunges, and number 8 your wall balls. So you can't miss them. They're nice and easy. And as I say, they're all in order, which those of you who competed before know that sometimes it's carnage trying to find them. For this one, it's very, very straightforward. All the others slides are just talking about the potential ways you'd like to divvy up the stations. So again, if you're not too worried about that, then feel free to jump off now. Loads of recommendations on there. At the end of the day, it's completely up to you. Nothing to worry about. Main thing on these is you just stay fresh. Don't hammer it too hard because on the ski it's early on, and just change when you need to. There's options on there, so 500 meters each, 250 meters each, and keep changing if you're in the pairs. 300, 400, 300 if you've got a stronger runner. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'll just leave it up there as an option for you to read through. Any questions on them, you can obviously ask any of the coaches. I'll be more than happy to help. Main thing, just in terms of rules, is just don't pass the handles to each other. Make sure you let go and then you get out of the way. Your partner will be on those little mats you can see in the picture. And then once you step off the ski erg, your partner can step on. Sled push, again, I'm not going to say for all the recommendations, but they're there. You can see the track on the left-hand side. You must push it all the way over the line, and both you and your partner must stay in that lane that you're designated to with your sled. You can change at any point, and you can't both be touching the sled at the same time. That's the only rules there, really. Pull, very similar to the push. Difference is, obviously, you're pulling it over the line. You cannot touch the front line or back line of your box with your feet. You must stay within them and not touch them. Your rope's meant to stay fairly well organised within your box. They're usually fairly lenient on that, but obviously try and be as cautious as you can. And make sure your partner is not organising your rope. Only one of you can be actively using the rope. When you change over, you can then do what you like with the rope, but you can't be fixing your partner's ropes so they don't fall over whilst you're participating. So make sure you just leave the rope alone if you're not doing it. And again, make sure you pull that sled all the way over the line before you go down the other end to do your next length. More than likely, it'll be 4 lengths. Same for the sled push. We'll get confirmation of that next week when we're there. At the end of the week when we're there. Burpees, again, change them how you like. Partner must follow, and when you change, do a big jump, and then your partner must start with a burpee. So that's from where you land on that last jump. Nice and easy. Again, change them how you like. Don't get in the way of other people. It might be a little bit busy depending on what time you come into that section. Rower, very similar to the ski. Only one of you can be touching it. You can't help each other get in or out of the row. And again, break it up how you like. The only difference on this one is it's slightly slower with a transition. So you might have to just think about how you transition because you don't want to waste too much time doing that. Farmer's carry, again, loads of options. Probably the best way is just send it as far as you can and then change with your partner. Doesn't have to be a 50-50 job. Easiest way to change is to place the kettlebells on the floor, jump out the way, your partner scoops them up, and you follow after them. You can run with them, but make sure if you're running with the kettlebells, your partner isn't just miles behind. You can see there, Jordan started to run. Annabelle does literally start to run in that next step. But if you get too far apart, you'll get penalised. So don't be too far apart. Lunges, 100 meters. One of you picks the bag up. It's not meant to touch the ground again after that. If you drop it or something, they're usually pretty lenient. It says on their changeovers, the rope. It means to say the bag. You can change at any point. Where we put recommendations full half lengths, again, slightly different. That's 10 lengths of our track, so ignore that. It will more than likely be 4 25-meter lengths, but we'll see how we go. It might be a 50-meter times 2. it's hard to tell until we get there on the day with that one. But see how we go. Um, Biggest thing of note with the sandbag, just change when you need to, keep it fresh. Sandbag can't go forwards. So we've looked at all different techniques to change. You can change however you like. But yeah, sandbag cannot go forwards. Last one to look at is the wall balls. Again, there's the target and the counter on the left, and you can see an active video here of Jordan Annabelle getting towards the end. Just change at any time. They'll tell you, you just get absolutely shattered at this point. You do as many as you can. Jordan's been very nice to give Annabelle the last few here, and she's absolutely smashing them. But make sure you get your depth with your squats. If you get a few no reps for depth, you can ask, like they can also see in that picture, for a box, and they'll give you the box so you know you're hitting your depth each time. A lot of you practice this by hitting the ball, so you know it's there as an option. So if you've got a few no reps for depth, just ask for the box. They'll give it to you. It does waste a bit of time, but you just know you're then doing the rep properly. If you feel like you're struggling to get a rhythm, just switch with your partner. It's not a problem. There's no shame in just switching at any point. So the main thing is hit your targets, and get the depth. Hopefully that's a nice little insight. I appreciate it's dragged on a little bit, but any other questions, please just let any of the coaches know, and we'll give you plenty of live updates on the day throughout the day you're competing when we get there. Bye.